Going through the shooter's handbook, we may read terms used that we may not understand, especially without the context that the terms are used in. It's especially true when we use 19th century terms or call out equipment that most of us city slickers who only play Cowboy on the weekends have never heard of before. Hi, I'm Branchwater Jack, and we're looking at one of those pieces of equipment this week on the firing line. Much like how cowboys wore chaps to protect their legs from the dangers of the trail, roping cuffs were used by cowboys to protect their wrists and lower forearm from rope burns and other occupational hazards. Sometimes adorned with studs, conchos, carvings, or other decorations, these functional leather accessories provided the wearer with some much-needed protection during the roundup. And for those cowboys who preferred not to wear sleeve garters to keep their long sleeves at a reasonable length, these cuffs also help keep their sleeves out of the cowboy's way while working, help keep their sleeves cleaner for longer periods of time, and protected their shirts from damage while working. For more information about sleeve garters, we have another video on that subject with a link down below in the description. Originally tied on with a piece of latigo or held on with a strap or buckle, these thick leather cuffs could protect the wrist and lower forearm not only from briars, thorns, and rope burns, but their stiff design could also somewhat limit the wrist's range of motion, offering bracing support and stability for the wearer's wrist. And that is one of the reasons that I personally do not like wearing them. These belong to a good friend of mine, Barkeep Casey. He let me use them to talk about why I prefer not to wear them while competing in cowboy action shooting. For me, the way they limit the movement of my wrists is one of the reasons why I don't use them. I tried a set when I started and was competing in the classic cowboy category. At the time, with the way that my gear was set up, I was not comfortable on how the cuffs I was wearing limited my range of motion when I was running through the course of fire. And I'm not the only one who thinks this way. Barkeep was telling me when he loaned them to me that he was not in a hurry for me to get them back to him, as he relegated their use to wearing only during banquets and other occasions off the firing line, because he too felt that their use constrained his range of motion and impeded his performance when shooting. That being said, I know some very successful and competitive cowboys and cowgirls who do incorporate cuffs into their wardrobe. Watching these folks shoot, it does not appear that their cuffs slow them down at all. So it may be more of a personal preference than a limiting factor of their design. Additionally, while traditional functional roping cuffs were made out of a thicker, stiffer leather, there is nothing in the shooter's handbook that limits us to creating cuffs using these historical standards. Many cowboys find that making leather cuffs out of a thinner leather gives them an accessory that looks the part and meets the requirements, while the thinner leather also allows for a greater range of motion. So, why use them? For one, it is historically accurate. With their rising popularity in the late 1800s, roping cuffs became as important as a fashion accessory as they were a functional tool for working on the range. Second, for competitors choosing to shoot in either the classic cowboy or B-Western categories, these cuffs are one of the optional items that can be worn to meet the category's costuming requirements. So, whether you're looking to round out your clothing requirements for shooting in the B-Western or classic cowboy categories, or just looking for a historical fashion accessory to wear to your next cowboy action shoot, I hope you know a little bit more about cuffs and how they might be of use to you on the firing line.